Hello, friends and family. I'm here. We're gonna make feijoada together. And feijoada is one of my favorite recipes for the family. First thing we're gonna do is we are going to sort the beans. This is something we do in Brazil that I've never stopped doing it, and the reason why I do this is because sometimes we find rocks with the beans, even though they've been processed and sorted. Sometimes there are rocks like, oops, right now there's a tiny little rock. It looks like a bean, but it's not. It could break your teeth. So that's why we sort it. And we sort our beans here. And then later we're gonna soak them overnight. They're soaked overnight so it's easier to cook. Plus there's a wives' tale that if you soak the beans, you have less gas. Now this next step is just soaking of the beans. So I'm just gonna add water. Of course, my recipe, I'm making 4 recipes. You're gonna make a much smaller batch. I make 4 because it's just a long process to cook. So there you go. Now you have way more water than beans. You want a lot of water because the beans will swell up. And I just set it aside for the night. And tomorrow we will deal with the beans again. The feijoada is actually a very simple dish. We're gonna cut the meat. We're gonna saute an onion and saute the minced garlic with the onion. If you do not have fresh garlic, you can use minced garlic. The onions I recommend to be fresh. And here are our ingredients. I am going to cut the meat. But before I do that, I want to introduce a special guest that will help me separate and peel the garlic with a unique method. So here's how it works. You put a head of garlic inside a Tupperware. You cover it up. And my special guest will do the work. And here's the magic. Ta-da! So now we're ready to cook. We have all our ingredients. I am going to coat the bottom of the pan lightly with olive oil. And I am going to saute the onions first. You can do it on high to start. And after the onions are starting to saute, I'm gonna add the garlic that I have minced. I will add, and once it's brown, I will add the meat and brown the meat. And once the meat is completely browned, I will add the beans. That right now, this is 4 cups of beans that have been soaking overnight, so they doubled in size. So that's what we have. And we'll just do our magic here and wait. Okay, this next step, I'm gonna add pork hocks, and I'm scoring the skin because the skin does not dissolve when cooked, and we don't want a big ring of skin floating around the pan. And yes, these are big smoked hocks, pork hocks. So we're gonna add that, the whole thing with bone and everything. I already scored this one. And I think this one is a little too big. I'm gonna cut it. And score it. Cut it again. And score it. And voila. So now we're just gonna bring it to a boil and let it do its thing. It will all melt down and it will look okay. So here's the feijoada. It's been cooking for 4 hours. So I started at on high, brought it to a boil, and once it was boiling, I put it on a low heat. And you wanted to keep it on low heat for 4 hours, and that will really cook well, cook the beans well, and also it will create a nice thick broth with the meat and the beans, and that's what you wanted. So we're ready to take a look. Ah, look at that. Very nice. We can turn that off. Beautiful. And I am going to put the little finishing touches. Those are hot peppers from Brazil, and of course you can't find them here, but you can use any hot pepper that you feel comfortable using. I typically, so there they are. Very nice. And little morsels of hot pepper, delicious. So this is how it should look. Wonderful. And I have the accoutrements that go with it. So we have the white rice and the collard greens, cooked collard greens, sauteed, and we have cut oranges and tomato vinaigrette. And we combined all those things into a delicious meal. This meal is also excellent for freezing. So usually after I'm done, I make several containers and I freeze for later, and they do beautifully in the freezer. So anyway, bon appetit.